Hi everyone, Kim Premski here with Agile Prowess. In one of my earlier videos, I shared some considerations for how to choose an appropriate sprint length for your team. And in this video, I would like to share how to choose which days of the week to start and stop your sprint. I'm going to share 3 common patterns that I typically see Scrum teams adopt. The first pattern is your typical Monday through Friday cadence. You would kick off your sprint with sprint planning on that Monday and wrap up your sprint on the following Friday, ideally with your sprint review and your sprint retrospective. Throughout the sprint, every day, you would conduct your daily scrum, and you would want to identify when in the sprint cycle you could hold backlog refinement sessions with your team if they choose to do so. Maybe you would choose to do it on a Thursday and then subsequently the following Tuesday. And that whole cycle continues with the next sprint starting up that following Monday, ending on that following Friday, and so on. Now, the second pattern that is very common, and probably the most common pattern that I see, is what we would call the Wednesday through Tuesday cadence. It's very similar. You still have a 2-week sprint over the span of 10 days, but your sprint would start on a Wednesday with sprint planning and end on the Tuesday of week 3. So you would have a partial week in week 1 and a partial week in week 3 and a full week within week 2, having your daily scrum each of those days. And typically when a team adopts this approach, they would conduct their backlog refinement sessions in that middle week 2. And then in a similar vein, the next sprint kicks right off again on that Wednesday, ending on that following Tuesday. The third most common pattern that I see, which is very similar to the Wednesday through Tuesday cadence, is just pushed by a day so that it becomes a Thursday through Wednesday cadence. Your sprint would start on a Thursday and on the Wednesday of week 3, so you'd have those 2 partial weeks again. You would have your daily scrum every day, and once again in that week 2, you would conduct your backlog refinement sessions. And once again, that whole schedule kicks back off again with the next sprint starting on a Thursday and ending on a Wednesday. You may be asking, why would a team choose to start in the middle of a week on a Wednesday or a Thursday? And if you think about the fact that your sprint kicks off with sprint planning and it ends with the sprint review and the sprint retrospective, by starting in the middle of the week, it allows you to free up your Mondays and your Fridays, because those are typically the days that team members will take time off or holidays will fall, and you would find yourself often having to shift things around. So it just stays away from the bookends of the week. Also, if you have a team and they are trying to wrap up their sprint, meet all of their commitments, it's not as fun to have to finish everything up late on a Friday. So having that middle of the week cadence works really well for certain teams. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on what cadence works best for you. I hope this has been helpful, and I thank you for watching. Take care.